So, yesterday I just finished watching Amazon Prime's Invincible Season 2 and wanted to share some of my thoughts about it. But before I do that, I should probably explain what Invincible is for the 1% of people who stumbled across this video. So, Invincible originally was a superhero comic that ran from 2003 to 2018 and was created by Robert Kirkman, who also happens to be the creator of the Neverending Story. The plot surrounds Mark Grayson, son of famous Superman-esque hero called Omni-Man. He wants nothing more than to be like his pop, and once his powers finally begin to manifest, he tries to do exactly that, donning the superhero name Invincible and starting his superhero journey. But little does Mark know, his life will change forever once he comes back from school and only brings home an A. Because as we all know, Asian parents don't play. But that's essentially the gist of the story. There are, of course, a bunch of other elements to the show as well, but I am going to try to keep Season 2 at least as spoiler-free as I can, since it wrapped up fairly recently. As for Season 1, I enjoyed it quite a bit, even though I did feel like most of it was your generic superhero origin story, with the exception, of course, of some key moments like the death of the original Guardians of the Globe, and of course the finale. But overall, I thought it was a strong start, really well animated too, and had great voice acting from the main cast of characters. With Season 2, there's still a similar focus on building future plot points or introducing and expanding characters that will play a bigger role later in the series. But unlike Season 1, I found almost every episode in Season 2 immensely entertaining and action-packed. Not to say Season 1 didn't have these episodes or moments either, because they definitely did, but I also remember a few episodes and chunks of episodes that also seemed to have the sole purpose of just introducing exposition or foreshadowing for later events, which I understand why it needed to be done, but it didn't really make them stand out to me over time, and I'm sure the massive gap between seasons also contributed to that sentiment as well. I really enjoyed the way that they portrayed the struggle that Mark is having and trying to convince himself and everyone else that he's not his father, and the lengths he goes to actually accomplish this goal. It was also nice to see an episode dedicated to Alan the Alien, who will end up playing a bigger role later on in the series. Seth Rogen's voice is slowly not becoming as distracting as it used to be, but yeah, definitely probably should have been recast here, just saying. The fights with the Viltrumites also had a very epic feel to it. Again, I think the animation is very detailed here and can be very brutal at times, just like the last season. I also found myself intrigued with how they handled the romance in this season. Needless to say, things do not end up like your typical Spider-Man Mary Jane or Superman Lois Lane story. It takes more of a realistic approach to it, and that's what I always really liked about Invincible. You know, it starts off very stereotypical and goes into a direction that your mainline Marvel and DC properties usually don't question or explore in much detail. If I could give one knock to this season, it would probably be the multiverse stuff, and that is solely my bias 100%. I am sick to death of multiverse being crammed into anything and everything superhero related. If there's a cardinal sin Into the Spider-Verse performed, it is popularizing this shit to the point where it is being forced down my throat at every turn. That being said though, the main plot is not solely focused around it, but it does dominate one side character story quite a bit, and yeah, I don't know. I'm personally just kind of sick of it, but that's just me. I also wasn't a big fan of splitting up the season and taking a 4-month hiatus to drop 3 episodes. I get the strategy of building anticipation, but we've already been waiting 2 years for this season already. Reeked very much of the final season of Attack on Titan, but at least there they had more than 3 episodes to offer between the break period, even though I still thought that was some bullshit there too, but whatever. So if I could give a suggestion, I would say to not do that again, or shorten the period between season releases. Either or has to give, but yeah, that felt pretty unnecessary. Season finale was pretty strong too, and also builds to a stronger theme of the Invincible story and Mark's ethics and morality with respect to superheroes killing villains, and when or if it should ever be acceptable to do. I'm familiar with the full story of Invincible, so trust me when I say this will become one of the essential turning points in the story as we go forward. But yeah, another strong season from the Invincible team. Definitely looking forward to Season 3. Hopefully it won't take as long to come around as Season Season 2 did. If you haven't read or watched Invincible, please do so. It is pretty fantastic. And yeah, I'm going to be giving Invincible Season 2 4 smiling Borats out of 5. Really crazy how these indie superhero comic book shows like The Boys and Invincible really seem to be outperforming all of Marvel and DC's output in the last 4 years or so, especially with regards to their storytelling and just overall quality of their product. In this case, I guess I'm referring more so to Marvel, since they were seen as the dominant superhero company for a while, at least when it came to the movies. Everyone has their own opinions about the MCU right now, whether it's dead or if it's just in a bit of a slump. Personally, I think the last Marvel anything I was genuinely excited for was probably Endgame, but after that, they seem to just go on this streak of releasing either absolute mid or straight trash. From Black Panther 2 to Black Widow, to Doctor Strange 2 to She-Hulk to Secret Invasion to the Marvels. Just either very underwhelming or straight up terrible stuff. There were some decent projects sprinkled in during this period too, like Shang-Chi, you know, for all its stereotypical storytelling beats. I do think that it at least had some good action choreography that kind of made up for it. Eternals also, I think, had some great cinematography. You know, I thought it was really unique for a Marvel property to kind of look like that, and also had some cool action scenes as well that I really liked. Loki has also proven to probably be the best Marvel TV show that they've released, at least to date, and it also added a lot of depth to his character as well, which a lot of fans enjoyed. And more recently, Guardians 3 I thought was relatively solid and ended the series on a good note as well. So there's little gems here and there for sure, but it's clear that they have definitely fallen from grace to some degree. Some people blame Disney, others blame a lack of ambition or direction. I'm somewhere in the middle, but I also think that the scope that they reach in terms of the workload on the projects that they are constantly churning out have really crippled a lot of the creative care with what they release lately. This is not only seen just in terms of the storytelling, but the effects as well.
Don't do it! This was fun! No!
Kevin Feige claims that they'll be course correcting for this, so, you know, maybe things might get a little bit better. But I have to honestly say, the characters that they're building for, I don't know, the Young Avengers or New Avengers, I'm just not really invested in their stories and who they are as people. And I'm guessing that probably has a lot to do with the fact that most projects that they've been in previously have been some straight dookie cheeks. But I guess we'll see where things go from here. DC seems to be on the verge of a possible redemption arc with James Gunn now helming the ship, so maybe some friendly competition will help bring the best out of both companies and put a stop to the repetitive schlock that we've been receiving by both of them. As it stands right now though, I definitely prefer the more adult take that shows like Invincible are taking. Maybe it's my tastes maturing a bit in my older age. I don't really know, but yeah, Marvel and obviously most of DC have just not been hitting the same for me for a while now, which has definitely led to some extreme fatigue in the main superhero movie genre as a whole for me. But let me know what you guys think. Did you enjoy Invincible Season 2? Do you think Marvel and DC will ever get their shit together? Feel free to let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.